Okay, so we'll be taking an example. An example is from NECO 2010. That's question number 13. The question says express 0.006299946. The three significant figures. So as usual, I'd love you to pause the video, try to solve it, and let's compare our answers together. Go ahead and pause the video, try it out. Okay, so I want to believe you've gotten your answer, and let's solve it together. Let's take the solution of this. Okay, so this is what we are given, and what we are given is 0.006299946, and we are to express it in three significant figures. That's what we have to express it in. And we gave rules the other time. Okay, and especially that group was for decimal. Now for this significant figure, we're going to use this example to give some rule. All right, so remember, significant figure that we were talking about are we're talking about significant figures. We don't include the leading zero. The leading zero, we don't include it. So we have leading zeros here, so we don't count it as significant figure. But rather, after these leading zeros, we can now count significant figure. That's 1, 2, and 3. So this here is the first these are three significant figures that we have. So we can work with this. We can work with these three significant figures. Now, just as when we're talking about decimal places, approximation of decimal, ask yourself, this number that makes the third significant figure, that is 9. This 9 here, is 9 more than 5? Yes, 9 is more than 5. So since 9 is more than 5, we're going to call it 0, carry 1, and then add 1 to this other number here. When we add 1 to 2, it becomes 3, and then we bring down 6. So the significant number is now 630. Now you can bring down these decimals here, 0, 0. So what we have is 0.0630. That's the answer. So looking at our option E is the correct answer. All right, so let's take one more. Okay, so let's take another one. It's a WAEC past question, 2010 question number 7. We have to correct 0.002473 to three significant figures, and we have options from option A to option D. Can you pause the video, try to solve it, and let's compare the answers together? All right, so let's do a solution. Let's take solution of this, and the question 0.002473. Still, it is, we have to convert it to three significant figure, the 3 SF significant figure. All right, so these leading zeros, we don't factor it in yet. We don't factor it in. And the next thing that we are going to do will be for us to look at this 1, 2, and 3. Look at them. Okay, so we're going to solve this, and before we proceed to this other one, let's just look at this, what we just did here. Okay, so we looked at the first three significant figure, and after that, before we start rounding up, the number the number close to the third one. This is 9. That's the number we're going to start the rounding up with, and we're going to call it 0. You can call it 0, add 1 here, 0, then add here, then we're still going to have 630. Okay, so let's do this and we will understand it much better. Okay, so the first 3 significant figures, this is it, stops here. So we are considering these 3 first. These three we are considering. Is it up to 5 or is below 5? It's below 5. Since it is below 5, we're not going to do anything to it. We're just going to ignore it. We're going to ignore it, and when we ignore it, what we simply do is for us to write down the answer without factoring in that 3. So that will be the answer. These 3, we just ignore the 3. Why? Because the 3 is not up to 5 and it's not above 5. So we ignore it, keeping our answer this way. Let's look at it, and then option C is the correct option. Option C is the correct option. Alright, so let's take this other one. November WAEC question. It was the year 2005. It says, which of these numbers is correct to 3 significant figures? That's just how the question is. Which of them has been corrected to 3 significant figures? So we have, okay, A, B, C. So we are observing. We have to observe the ones that have been corrected to 3 significant figures. Okay, and looking at A, option A, 0.003. So when we look at option A, let's observe something together when it comes to this option A. Now this what happens. Option A has how many places of decimal? First, it has 3 places of decimal, but that's not 3 significant figures. Place of decimal, remember in our earlier class, we said the digit after the decimal point. And that's 1, 2, 3. It's 3 places of decimal. Now, significant figures, leading zeros are not counted. So this one here is 1 SF, 1 significant figure. That's not what we are looking for. Now, going to the next, option B. Let's observe option B together. Now, observing option B together, option B, leading zeros, we don't count it. So it is 2 significant figures, 2 SF, and that's not what we're looking for. Now let's get to the next option. Looking at the next option, leading zero is 1, 2. This is 2 significant figures as well. It's not what we're looking for. And then it must be D. But before then, let's compare together. Now, significant figure. When a zero is bounded by non-zero, we count it as significant. We count it as significant. So here is 3 significant figures because that's 1, 2, and 3. So option D, 3 significant figure, is the correct option. That was the correct option to that question. All right, so let's proceed. Okay, so we have a question, another question. This was a WAEC question, 2012 question 1, and we have to express 302.10495. Correct this time is to 5 significant figures. So to be nice, you pause the video here and then you try to solve it so we can compare. All right, still waiting for you to pause the video, then we do it together. Okay, let's start. Let's do it together. I believe you've gotten your answer. So we have 302.10495. This is what we are to change to correct to 5 significant figures. Already, how many significant figures are this? This number, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 in total. So we need 5. So since we need 5, we have 3 here already, and then with this place here, with stopping at this 0, should be the 5th one. So let's consider this 4 after the fifth one. Considering this 4, the question we ask ourselves is, this 4 here that we are considering, is it up to 5 or below 5? Is below 5, so we are going to ignore it. We're not going to do anything to it, and it's not going to affect the rest of this number that we have. So immediately we just bring it down as 302.10. We've ignored this 4. We've not done anything to this 4 because it's not up to 5. So, and option A was the correct option. Option A was the correct option. We were given this number and about 8 digits, 8 significant figure. We're looking for 5 significant figure. So taking up to 0 is 5 already. So we consider the next one after the 0, that is 4, is not up to 5. We ignore it, pull down our answer. 302.10 is the answer. Okay, I think we can take 2 more examples, and that will be the end of this particular class. All right, so we have a NECO question here, and this was 2004 question. We have to express the product of 0.007 and 0.057 to 2 significant figures. That's what we have to express, and we'll be giving the option A to option E. Okay, as usual, pause the video, try solving it. Let's compare the answers. All right, so I want to believe that he'll solve it. Let's get these 2 numbers so we can have their product. The first number is 0.007, and we have to multiply with 0.057. Great, that's all we have to do. And the first thing we are going to do is for us to multiply only the non-zeros first. Let's multiply the non-zeros. Non-zeros here will involve 7 and then 5, 7. So let's multiply it. If you multiply 57 by 7, 7 times 7 is 49. 9 carry 4. 7 times 5 is 85 plus 9 is 89. So that becomes 399. Okay, 399. So we can keep it by some way. Let's just keep it 399. Now the total numbers of zeros that we have here, how many? Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5. So we need to introduce the 5 of them. That is 0 points that we introduce for 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've been able to multiply this out without even a calculator. The next thing is, the question is for us in 2 significant figure. So 2 significant figure, we are going to be considering leaving these other zeros. So this is what we are going to be considering, and considering this 39, we now look at these last 9. Okay, because the number after the numbers of significant figure we are looking for is what we are considering. This is 9 here, and for this 9 we call it it's up to 5 and more than 5, so we call it 0. We carry 1 to add it up here. When we add 1 up here, we still call it 0. Carry 1 here, add it up here, becomes 4. Okay, so we can introduce these other decimals now, and we have asked for 2 significant figures, so we are going to discard this last 0. The answer will now be 0.12334. 0.00040. That is the answer. And looking at our option, the option that is option A. Option A is the correct option. So this was the question that we were given, multiplying 0.007 by 0.57. So we just have to multiply it without the decimal, and when we multiply, this is what we had. We introduced the decimal. Introducing the decimal is what we now had. So to correct it to 2 significant figure, we consider the number after the last digit of the 2 significant figure, that's this 9, and then rounding it up, calling 9 0, adding 1 here is more than 9, call it 0, add 1 becomes 4, and that gave us 0.00040. That's the correct answer. Okay, so let's end the class here. See you in the next class. We'll take more examples in the next class. Bye.